Hi students, now coming to the last topic in the chapter algorithmic strategy, that is dynamic programming. So what do you mean by dynamic programming? This dynamic programming is mainly used for designing algorithms. So it is called as algorithmic design method. Algorithmic design method. Okay. This dynamic programming is similar to divide and conquer algorithm, which means it breaks down the complex problem into smaller subproblems. So it is similar to divide and conquer algorithm. So let us see the steps one by one. Okay. This dynamic programming divides the complex problem into smaller subproblems. Okay, it breaks down the complex problem into smaller subproblems. See here, suppose a big problem is there. Whenever this problem is divided into smaller subproblems, then we can choose this dynamic programming. Okay, so the given problem is divided into smaller subproblems. Okay, second point, find the optimum solution to these subproblems. So you have to solve each subproblems and find out the solution to these subproblems, which means optimum solution. So you call it as optimization problem. Okay. So whenever the optimization problem is there, you can follow the dynamic programming approach. Next point, store the results of subproblems. This is called memorization. Okay. This is called memorization. What do you mean by memorization? The complex problem is divided into smaller subproblems. Each subproblem having one solution. This subproblem having one solution. This subproblem having one solution. And this is having one solution. Okay. Storing that solutions of subproblems is called memorization. This memorization is called as optimization technique. It is mainly used to store the results and reuse that results of subproblems when the same inputs occur again. Okay, so what do you mean by memorization? Memorization is a optimization technique. It is used to store the results of subproblems and reuse that results when the same inputs occur again and again. Okay, so it is called memorization. We can reuse that result of subproblems. Why we are reusing the results of subproblems? Because if the same subproblem comes again and again, you can take out the results of that subproblem and reuse that. Okay, let us see one example. Suppose I am writing here 2 plus 3. What is the answer of 2 plus 3? 5. Okay. This result stored somewhere in the memory. Okay. Add again 1. Now 5 plus 1. This is the solution of previous subproblem. So this result is stored in the memory. Okay. So now again I am adding plus 1. Okay. So 5 plus 1 is equal to 6. This 6 is also stored somewhere in memory. Okay. I am adding another number plus 3. Okay. Now our previous result is what? This one. Now 6 plus 3, 9. This is new value. So see here, if you do not store these values here in memory, you have to compute the value from starting. Okay. 2 plus 3 plus 1 plus 3. But if you store these values, this calculation is easy because you are taking the stored results of previous subproblems and adding new value. If you do not store these results, then you have to recompute the same subproblems again and again. Okay. But if you store these results, then you do not have to recompute the same subproblems again and again because you take the results from the previous subproblems and add that value with the new value. Okay. Last point. Finally, the solutions of overlapped subproblems are combined in order to get the better solution for that complex problem. So at the end, the solution of these overlapped subproblems are combined in order to get the better solution for that complex problem, which means the solutions of all these subproblems are combined and calculates the result of main problem. So this is the basics of dynamic programming. Okay, let us see one example for the dynamic programming, that is Fibonacci series. What do you mean by Fibonacci series? This Fibonacci series generates the subsequent number by adding two previous numbers. So it generates the subsequent number by adding two previous numbers. By using this Fibonacci series, we will get the subsequent number by adding two previous number. Okay, let us take the initial values 0 and 1. Okay, initial values. Fib 0 is equal to 0 and Fib 1 is equal to 1. Okay, here one condition is given, that is Fib n is equal to Fib n minus 1 plus Fib n minus 2. This is the condition. So if you want to calculate Fibonacci series for 8 digits, n is equal to 8. Okay, the output you will get like this. This is the initial value 0, 1. So what is the definition? Generate subsequent number by adding two previous numbers. Okay, so these are the initial values. Add these two values. 0 plus 1, 1. Next add these two values. 1 plus 1, 2. Next add these two values. 1 plus 2, 3. Next add these two values. 5. Next add this 8. Next add these two values. 13. See here, n is equal to 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So if you want to calculate the Fibonacci series for 8 digits, you can write like this. Okay, see here, Fib n is equal to Fib n minus 1 plus Fib n minus 2. This Fibonacci series is generated by using this condition. Okay, so how will you check this condition? See here, if you want to find out the Fibonacci series for 8 digits, you will get the output like this. Okay, 8 digits means 0 to 7. Okay, the digit starts from 0. Okay, this is 0th position. Next to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so 0 to 7, that is 8 digits. Okay, so this Fibonacci series satisfies this condition. How will you check this condition? See here, suppose you want to calculate the element of 5th position. How will you write? Fib n means what? N means 5. Okay, position. You have to write the position. Okay, n is equal to 5. So Fib 5 is equal to Fib n minus 1 means 5 minus 1 plus Fib n minus 2 means 5 minus 2. So Fib 5 minus 1 means what? Fib 4 plus Fib 5 minus 2, Fib 3. Okay, so see here, which number is stored in the index position 4? 3. 3. Okay. Next, which number is stored at the index position 3? Index position 3? 2. Okay, 2. So 3 plus 2, 5. So in 5th index position, we have to calculate these two elements. And that is 2 plus 3 is equal to 5. Next, if you want to calculate 6th element, right? N is equal to 6. Fib 6 equal to Fib 6 minus 1 plus Fib 6 minus 2 is equal to Fib 6 minus 1 means Fib 5 plus Fib 6 minus 2 means Fib 4. See here, which element is stored in the index position 5? This 5. Okay, plus which element is stored in the index position 4? This is 4. Okay, 3. So 5 plus 3 is equal to 8. So for 6th index position, we have to calculate the previous elements, these two. Okay, 3 plus 5, that is 8. So this is the way you have to calculate Fibonacci series by using this condition. Okay, if you want to generate Fibonacci series for 8 digits, you will get this output. But if you want to generate Fibonacci series up to 10 digits, n is equal to 10, how will you generate Fibonacci series? Write the steps for Fibonacci iterative algorithm. Okay, iterative means what? Iterative means set of statements repeated again and again in the same program, that you call it as iterative algorithm. Okay. So now let us write the steps for calculate Fibonacci series for 10 digits using dynamic programming approach. Okay. First give the initial values. F0 means 0, F1 means 1. Okay. These are the initial values. Okay. 0, 1. Write step 1. Print the initial values. First you have to print the initial values. Okay. Initial values what? 0, 1. So you have to print 0 and 1. Okay. Next step is calculate Fibonacci. Fib is equal to F0 plus F1. F0 means what? 0 plus F1 means 1. 0 plus 1 is equal to what? 1. Print that value of fib. So which value? 0 plus 1 is equal to 1. You have to print 1. Okay. So next step is you have to assign this F1 value to F0, this fib value for F1. Which means what is the value of F1? 1. You have to assign this F1 value for F0. So now F0 value is what? 1. Next you have to assign the fib value for F1. Fib value is what? 1. So you have to assign that value to F1. So F1 is 1. Okay. This is F0. This is F1. This is fib. So now the value of F0 is 1 and the value of F1 is 1. Next print the addition of new F0 and F1. New F0 and F1 means what? This one and this one. So add these two values. 2. So 1 plus 1, 2. So next in fifth point, go to step 3. Step 3 means assign for F0 is equal to F1 and F1 is equal to fib. Now you have to assign the F1 value to F0 and fib value to F1. Okay. What is the value of F1 now? 1. So you have to assign this value to F0. 1. And fib value is what? 1 plus 1, 2. Okay. So you have to assign this value to F1. Okay. Then see the next step. Print the addition of new F0 and F1. Okay. New F0 and F1. 1 plus 2 is equal to 3. So our next Fibonacci series number is 3. Okay. Again go to step 3. Assign the F1 value to F0 and fib value to F1. So F1 value is what? 2. So assign this value here. Okay. 2. And fib value is this is. Assign this fib value to F1. 3. So 2 plus 3, 5. So our next output is 5. Next again go to step 3. Next again assign the F1 value to F0, fib value to F1. So this value is here, this value is here. 3, 5. 3 plus 5, 8. So again write here output 8. Next again go to step 3. Here 5. This is 8. 8 plus 5, 13. So this is the next value. Okay. 13. Next again go to step 3. Assign this F1 value to F0, 8. Assign this fib value to F1. Again print the addition of new F0 and F1. 8 plus 13, 21. So here write 21. Again go to step 3. 13, 21. 13 plus 21, 34. Right here 34. Again go to step 3. Assign the value F1 to F0, 21. And this value is here 34. So add these two numbers, 55. 55. See here, you have to generate the Fibonacci series for 10 digits. Okay. Which means 0 to 9. Okay. 0 to 9. 0 to 9 means index positions are 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 0 to 9. Okay. We have to find out the Fibonacci series for only 10 digits. Okay. So write the Fibonacci series for 10 digits only. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Finish here. Okay. You can find out this Fibonacci series using this condition also. Okay. So this is about dynamic programming and Fibonacci series. I hope you understand. Thank you.